That is ridiculous. So it looks like it crashed again. He said RIP, he gone. He gone too soon. Nah, man, I'm still here. I appreciate those of you that are dealing with the tech problem. So apparently StreamYard is having issues with their software update, and it is not working on most browsers. I even tried it today on incognito, and it's still defaulted, but it should not have. It should have worked, but you know, we gotta make it work. So there we go. So it did that, and then we're going to choose Windows pixelations, and then once it throws it in there, then it should allow me to use the webcam, and then we'll have poor web quality on the StreamYard here. Until then, we're going to go ahead and try to move forward, because I'm going to try to see what I can do about getting this camera situation rectified as we start talking on the show. But I did want to tell you, Stephen, that we were talking about BBAI yesterday, and it's a growth stock. It's not actually a cash dividend stock like the ones that we were using with our dividend rotation strategy. So it is good to pick up, but you're going to do a buy and hold, and you're not going to get any money off of it unless you sell the stock. So that's what we were talking about when you popped in, because if you want to keep the stock and benefit from the stock, you would have to do those cash loans. And that's what I was saying that we have to get into when the webcam took a dump. No, the integrated camera took a dump, and now I'm trying to hook up the webcam. So it's going to be a round robin situation. So let's go ahead and move into today's topic, because we were going to be talking about how those dating apps negatively impact our ability to be successful. And special shout out to Ragnar trolling something fierce. I find it somewhat entertaining, but not so much so. Let's go ahead and get into it. And we're going to be honest. The biggest reason that you're failing on dating apps has nothing to do with your photos, your bio, or even who you are. So we wanted to touch base with that real quick and get you guys to understand that, because that's what a lot of people believe, is that they're doing something wrong. But you're not. The real problem is the system itself. It's designed to make you feel unattractive, and it's built to make you feel a little hopeless, a little frustrated, and yes, even a little desperate. Why? We're about to get into that in just a second. He said, bro, you serious? Every stream a trial, bro. Look, man, the show must go on. Now, one of the funny things is that I do have a webcam stand for the cell phone, but I never plan on streaming from the cell phone. So I never have the webcam stand when I get in here. And then I'm like, man, I wish that it was near this computer somewhere. Like if it was like right behind the laptop or something, I could just grab it and just set this thing up and just set it up and just be like hands free. But for some reason, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. It's crazy. I wonder, it would be interesting if I could switch browsers and go live straight from the live. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Because the camera, let's see, AM. Look, this is the thing about doing live streams. When you do a live stream, it's going to do what it's going to do, and you're going to deal with it because the show must go on. Now, this is interesting because the camera is already on blast. It should be working in multiple things, but for some reason it's not working here. Just the browser itself. Yes, which browsers just log in might end the stream. I don't know. Well, no, because the live stream is on, as long as I don't turn off the live stream, it should still, as long as you can see me, it's still here. So I'm going to try to see if I can put it into another position and then see what we do. Oh, hold on. Let me do this because this is getting me. There we go. Cut that off. All right. Now, I was just about to start explaining the main plot of the situation, but let's go ahead and see if we can get StreamYard working on the other browser. Because I've already updated Google, and Firefox is not doing any better, and Edge is not getting any better. So I'm trying to figure out like which one of these. Oh, snap. We got a camera. All right, so that's the webcam. So let me see if we can. Let's see, where is the web camera? Right here. Oh, it got me. Took a dump on that browser as well. So no, we've got the sound all over the place, but we don't have a lot of. Let's take that out of there. It's like surround sound now. This is starting to get ridiculous. I'm sorry, man. I try to get another browser up there, but it didn't work. We're just gonna have to mainstream it like this today until StreamYard fixes their algorithm. It's just something that we got to put up with. I can only apologize for the things that I cannot control. Next time I'm gonna see if I can get it. Let me see. Matter of fact, while we talking about it, I'm going to do it next show because we didn't waste too much time on it already. So the reason why they're doing this to you is that, hold on, Michael says, give this problem to an 18-year-old. He'll fix it. Oh, find one of them little Gen Zs, the little young bucks, had them come over here and tweak the system. It's something because what happens is that for some reason, StreamYard doesn't connect to the drivers through the browser, and then it no longer connects to the camera while the camera was working when the show started. And then all of a sudden the camera dropped off, and when the camera dropped off, the microphone dropped off. And I'm like, why is the camera and the microphone not working? I've already reset all the drivers and everything to that effect. But, you know, as a podcaster, you know, you got to have a backup plan. So I've got extra cell phones on standby. I'll just stream from the cell phone. I don't care. That's one thing I'm not going to do. I'm not going to let the podcast crash, because we were talking about stocks. We were talking about investments. We were talking about improving ourselves financially, socially. This live is going to happen one way or another. I don't care. We don't even have anything following us today, so I don't even have a time limit to finish this. So I'm going to get through all the information that y'all wanted to have today. It's just going to be like a Blair Witch Project camera style. So not much I can do about that part. Either way, though, we want to talk about why is it that the dating apps don't work for us the way we want them to work. Okay, this is going to be because when you feel the way that I just mentioned, frustrated, desperate, hopeless, you do two things. You either pull out your credit card for premium features, or you just keep swiping, feeding the machine. Because interactions with an app, just like interactions with this live stream, it triggers an algorithm. By triggering the algorithm functions more. These platforms aren't nonprofits trying to find you love. They're billion-dollar businesses. And I've covered this before about how you could invest in some of these apps as a shareholder and make tons of money off of them because they are billion-dollar businesses. And from a business standpoint, the best outcome isn't you finding the one and deleting the app forever. The best outcome is keeping you on the app, endlessly chasing a connection that feels like it's just around the corner, but you never find it. The whole system is built on fake scarcity, psychological tricks, and a carefully tuned cycle of hope and disappointment. So your profile isn't just a profile, it's a data point in a massive money-making experiment. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the experiment. We'll show you how these apps are engineered to make almost everyone seem less appealing. We'll break down the psychological toll this takes on you, and most importantly, we'll give you a concrete, slightly unorthodox playbook to not only beat the system, but to build a profile so real and compelling that it cuts through the endless digital noise. And finally, we'll show you how to instantly spot the predators and scammers who are built to prey on the exact insecurities this app creates. Before you can fix your profile, you have to understand the battlefield. You're not just up against other people. You're fighting an invisible system. Okay? And this system is designed to mess with your head. The feeling of frustration you have, it isn't a personal failure. It's a design feature. The first and most powerful weapon these apps use against you is the illusion of endless choice. Michael says, dating apps for seniors, see nursing home. Well, they've got this new dating app out there that I thought was very interesting, but I'm not investing in the app. But I think that investing in the app might be an interesting experiment to see what happens there. The app is called Hottie Meet. Not a very professional or appropriate app, but the reason why the app came across my attention is because it is utilizing one of the methods that we're going to be talking about today, which is video communicating directly with the other person, which eliminates the scams. So any individual on this particular app that wants to connect with you, they're probably going to send you one email, go straight into a video call, and then you guys are going to start talking. And that, like, in my opinion, really breaks through a lot of the bad texting back and forward, the getting ghosted, the lack of confirmation that you're talking to a real person. Like, all of those things get thrown out of the window because you immediately get thrown into a video call with the other person. Now, there is an issue with that because since you're doing exactly virtual dating, since you're doing the face-to-face calls, you don't have the ability to curate your script. You don't have the ability to think about what you're going to say before you say it, delete your response, fix it, put it back out there. The genuine you is going to be thrown into that app in every encounter with each person that you're going to talk to. Now, that app probably would be a little bit more up your alley if you're looking for a real person. Keep your pants on. Well, see, that's going to be the other thing. Not only are you going to have to keep your pants on, whatever your personality or profile, whatever you're supposed to have, you're going to have to maintain that. So if you're on this app, you are prepared to talk. Because if you're on this app and somebody's trying to reach out with you, now is not the time. Let me fix my hair. Let me put on my makeup. Let me put on a different outfit. I wasn't expecting somebody to hit me up at this point. Soon as you log onto that app, you got to be ready to communicate. Just like soon as you walk out of your house, you should probably have some pants on. But outside of that app, a lot of the other apps are text-based apps. There's very little, if no, video communication between some of these apps. And the first time that you meet a person is in person, and the first time you hear their voice might be on a voice call. In those apps, people thrive off of fake accounts and other such things, which is what we're going to be getting into. But before we get to that, we need to understand how some of these dating apps are not designed for you to succeed. So when you open the app and see a never-ending conveyor belt of faces, it feels like an all-you-can-eat buffet of potential partners. But psychologists have named this the paradox of choice. When we have too many options, we don't feel free, we feel paralyzed. So instead of thoughtfully considering anyone, we get overwhelmed and start making snap judgments on the most superficial things imaginable. It's like trying to pick a movie on a streaming service. You scroll for 20 minutes, buried under thousands of titles, and end up just rewatching The Office or turning it off entirely. It's one of them things where it's just too much is not good for you. So dating apps create the exact same brain-breaking overload. This endless scrolling teaches your brain that there's always another, maybe better option just one swipe away. And this grass is greener effect absolutely destroys the chance for connection because it makes people less likely to commit to a conversation, less willing to get to know someone, and far more likely to ghost the second a tiny imperfection pops up, because you're not willing to make this work because you believe that there are 20 or 30 other people in your comments right now that you can talk to. Somebody DM me while I was setting up the show. If I follow through with the 20 or 30 on this particular app, there's a lot of them, but if I follow through with them, I would spend more time trying to connect than hosting this podcast. But you got to think about your priorities. This podcast is more important than these bitches. Michael said the grass is greener on the other side, and it's only greener as long as you water it, because once you get there, if you don't take care of it, it's going to be just as brown and withered away as the original side you were on. Now, the person on the other side of the screen isn't a person anymore, because there's an option, a product to be rated and tossed aside in seconds. So this whole environment breeds a culture of disposability. So why bother having a real conversation when you can just swipe a few more times and maybe find someone who seems a little funner in their bio or has a cuter dog? The app's design actively works against the patience that real relationships need. That's the first thing that you got to think about. So you're not just being judged on your own merits. You're being judged against a fantasy of a perfect match that probably doesn't even exist, especially when you have unrealistic expectations that might be satisfied by the algorithm's ability to show you the limited number of individuals that you are attracted to. But just because you're attracted to them, or you might be attracted to them, it does not mean that any of those people are attracted to you. The algorithm comes off of two parts. I'm going to be talking about that in a minute. One part is going to be how many people match your expectations. And then the other part is how many people match the other person's expectations. If you and the other person are a match based on the algorithm, you're likely to get along, but it's not guaranteed. So let's talk about this algorithm. This isn't your friendly neighborhood matchmaker trying to find your soulmate. The algorithm is a business tool, and its main job is to keep you swiping and spending. So many users and researchers are convinced that dating app algorithms practice something called throttling. And I know that y'all are thinking about like acceleration when I tell you about throttling. Here's how it works. When you first join, you might get a honeymoon phase, a sudden rush of likes and many matches. This is on purpose. The app gives you a taste of success, a little dopamine hit to get you hooked. But after that first week or two, your visibility seems to get choked. right around the time that whatever intro level features that they're allowing you to sample for free runs out, where you now have to start paying for the app, that's when your visibility gets choked. You go from flooded of attention, and this is going to go into a trickle. The matches dry up. You start wondering, what did I do wrong? Was it my pictures? What happened? The app wants you to ask those questions, because right when you're feeling frustrated and insecure, a special offer is going to pop up. Get seen by 10 times more people with Super Boost, or upgrade to gold to see who likes you. This is not a coincidence. The algorithm is designed to create a problem in evadability and then sell you the cure. You have situations, Pablo Vida law. They have situations where they will send you favorites, where people favorite you, people like you, people click on your thing. And in order for you to see who that is, what they'll do is they'll tell you, you got to pay for the membership in order to see that. You got to pay to respond to the person. Oh, wait, you sent the message, but they can't see the message because both of you are free. So now you have to pay so that they can see what your message was. What? If she wants to know what my fucking message is, she better pay. Fuck that shit. Got me wasting my money to send. If I wanted to pay to send a message, I would have put it in a freaking envelope and mailed it to you. Then you get it. But that's what they got going on. It's a manufactured cycle of frustration designed to push you towards a paid subscription. This system is especially tough on men, who often outnumbered by women on these apps, because the women can create the apps for free. The men are usually having to pay. And the reason why the women can create the apps for free is because on apps where only one of the two people have to have a membership for the two people to engage, since women are used to being approached and introduced by the guy, if they create the app and just hang out long enough, guys are going to be reaching out to them. So they don't have to pay for the membership. Unless you're over 35. Then you're probably going to have to pay for the membership to get any likes. But usually the women are going to be on the app and scrolling through, hitting their likes, and every guy that they like is going to reach out. Hey, what you doing? But the fact is that the guys have to pay for that membership, because they're only going to let you reach out to like the first 10 or 20 people. And then after that, it's out the door. You're going to have to figure it out. So creating a dog-eat-dog fight for visibility is going to be a big thing here. The algorithm rewards popular profiles, creating a feedback loop where the most liked people get shown even more. So while the average user gets buried deeper and deeper in the digital pile, becoming almost invisible, some users even swear that their matches disappear and then reappear later. And this is a tactic seen as a way to manipulate you into staying on the app. You're not just being judged by other people, you're being scored by a machine that decides who even gets to see you. So the act of swiping itself is a deeply unnatural way to meet another human, and it completely changes how we see each other. In the real world, attraction is complex. It's about body language, tone of voice, a sense of humor, the way someone tells a story, your intentions. There's a lot of things going on there. On the dating app, all of that richness gets flattened into a few photos and a short bio. So this forces you to be judged on two things: how hot you look, and in a handful of pictures, by the way, how clever can you be in under 500 characters? That's the other thing. It's not a real assessment of you as a partner. It's a 3-second audition, and this rewards the most photogenic people, not necessarily the best partners. So qualities like kindness, intelligence, and loyalty are almost impossible to show in a swipe. Exactly. The assessment. Special shout out to HNKON. I can't pronounce any of that. Honkers, is that what that is? Special shout out to you anyway, brother. I appreciate you coming through. Make sure y'all like and subscribe as y'all pop in here, because we're going to be going into how we're going to get through this. Life lessons. U.S. postal stamps never expire. But the price of the stamp doesn't maintain the same unless you buy the forever stamp. So that 5-cent stamp and that 20-cent stamp, back when stamps were 5 and 20 cents, you're probably going to need like 10 of them bastards right now, like 55 or 65 cents to mail a letter. 2 of those forever stamps. If you're going to use one of those 9x12 envelopes, like the legal document folder thing, yeah, because you're going to be sending a, what is that? SWV said 5-page letter. You're going to send a 5-page letter. That's old school how we used to talk to folks. How do we get her address? Her homie gave it to her. Either one of her friends gave us her address, her family member gave us her address, which means we got community blessing to talk to this girl. We did not have to pay for a boost on an app. All we had to do was go talk to somebody who knew her and be like, how do I get in touch with her? And they'll be like, oh, dope. Here's her phone number. Here's her address. This is what car she drives. She's parked right over there. Go talk to her. And they'll flag her down for you. Hold on. I got somebody that I want to meet you. That's how things used to be before the internet. One forever stamp is all you need on the first class letter. We got love letters now. That's well, up to a certain weight, one forever stamp will work for you. But I mean, if you're writing a really long confession letter, not like the 12 chapters of In the Closet by R. Kelly, but like a confession like Usher kind of thing, or like Genuine kind of thing, then you might need 3 to 5 pages. Like Uncle Sam, when he had that letter about the girl that was cheating on him with his homeboy kind of thing, you might need like 7 to 10 pages. And that 7 to 10 pages might be 2 stamps, especially if it starts coming above an ounce. Starts coming up to like 2-3 ounces. You know, for those who smoke weed, that same gram scale that you got to roll your weed up could really measure how much your stamps cost. It was originally used for gauging your mail, and now it's just not used for anything inappropriate. I don't know. Write smaller. Type it now. Type it. Because remember when we had typewriters with the little small font? Now you can type it on your computer. Put it into 8-point font, print it out if you got a printer. Put 5 pages on the front, print it on front and back. So it's just one page, like the extra notes on an exam. I'm telling y'all, it's crazy now. These people don't know what to do. Now, this is going to lead to a profound sense of dehumanization going through all of this. Users become trading cards, not people. And y'all know, like Ash, we be trying to catch them all. But the game-like nature of the swipe, the thrill of a match, and the sting of a left swipe feels more like playing a slot machine than looking for a human connection. And it rewires our brains to chase the high of the match, not the substance of the person. In fact, in some studies, we have shown that more than half of users on certain apps don't even go on dates. They just collect matches for validation. And that interface is built for speed and volume, not depth, where it encourages you to think hot or not could this be a person I could build a life with? And when you're constantly being boiled down to a single photo, it's bound to affect how you are seeing yourself. Michael says, put it on a micro dot. Bro, they're going to be trying to read that from a magnifying glass. You're killing me. But the system isn't broken. That's one thing I got to understand. It's psychologically damaged, but it's not broken. You'll be damaged. You'll be broken, but the system's not broken. The constant low-level stress of using these apps takes a real toll on our mental health. It's a slow motion demolition of self-esteem, one swipe at a time. Humans are hardwired to want social validation, so we want to be liked and accepted. Dating apps hijack this basic human need and turn it into a product. Ever find yourself with that match, that like, and the message where it is a tiny hit of dopamine, a little confirmation that you're desirable? It feels good, so you keep coming back for more, keeping you in validation trap. But this creates a dangerous cycle. Your self-worth gets tied to the app. A good day is when you get matches. A bad day is when you don't. Your mood swings with the whims of strangers and a mysterious algorithm you can't control. This is the validation trap in and of itself. You're chasing the high of a notification, but the high gets rarer and the lows get lower. When you're not getting matches, your self-worth can tank. You start to internalize the silence. No one is matching with me, so I must be unattractive. I sent 10 messages and got 0 replies, so I must be boring. This isn't just a feeling, it's a documented problem. Matter of fact, now that we think about it, we have a lot of people that come onto the show on Sundays and talk about the exact same thing. Michael says, elevated endorphins. Yeah, that's exactly what we're dealing with. Where people are not finding what they're looking for because they're chasing the wrong thing. Now, multiple studies have directly linked heavy dating app use to low self-esteem, higher anxiety, and more body image issues. So you went to the app looking for connections, but end up in a toxic relationship with your phone, not even with other people. Where's that bottle? I can't have Hennessy on the show because that would have been a good shot of Hennessy right there. Some Courvoisier or something. We'd have been sipping on some Crown. Got to take a hit of some Jack. Like, that was deep. Some Tennessee whiskey. Got to tell you, it's crazy. Nobody really knows about these things until we talk about it. And then when we talk about it, they're like, damn, really? Yeah. So, truthfully, before you start spending your money on these apps, you've got to be serious. Like, exactly what are you about to pay for? What are you looking into when you open your wallet? Because, I mean, yeah, the app can potentially link you with real people, but that doesn't mean. He said, bro got drip. I don't know. I got something up here. That ain't a lot of drip. It's weird. I did not get silver glasses. I just gold and silver. That's the school colors, I guess. I don't know. In online dating, rejection is constant and casual. Now, one of the funny things about it is that when they swipe left on you, you don't know that they swipe left on you. So you have less exposure to rejection overall, but you have more exposure to rejection out of the people that you match with. So every left swipe, every unanswered message, every time you're unmatched, it's a micro rejection. So on their own, they might not seem like a big deal, but added up, they create a state of chronic emotional exhaustion known as dating burnout. Michael says, I'm guilty too. I tried a dating app and everything you are saying is true. Mike, I could tell you, I've tried it before myself. At one point in time, before I started researching these things, I actually felt some kind of way when I would reach out to somebody and then all of a sudden they would stop talking, or in a scenario where I was communicating with them and then they deleted their platform, or they blocked mine or something like that. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. After I covered the story a couple times, I was like, oh shit, a lot of these are bots or scammers, and they just recognized my profile, so they shut it down before we talked the second time. And I was like, wait, so I'm not supposed to feel bad about anybody that's not trying to communicate, because if they're not serious about their shit, then it's not going to go anywhere anyway. Now, how many real dates do we get on? Michael said he bought a dog. I already had a dog. I had 2 dogs. So, I'm not getting a third. I'm going to let one die before I buy me a second. That's what I'm going to do, because these dogs cost a lot of money, especially when we start talking about traveling. One of the things I thought about doing, because we've been here building wealth, I'm not wasting money on a membership for a dating app when we're trying to stack cash. My thought is, one of the things I actually told you guys before, which this is a true story, and I got this from one of the passport bros. If you're planning on going somewhere different on a dating platform in that location, you put into your profile that you are going to such and such location between this date and this date, and anybody interested in communicating with you during that time can match with you, right? So, and you're talking about we're matching for an in-person engagement only. So those scenarios are when they will hit you back, and those people, you'll end up with some pretty quick dates within like 24 hours of updating your platform. And you're probably going to have to pay for the membership in order to communicate with everybody. But at the same time, you're going to pay for 1 month while you're out of town, going to wherever you're going to go to and link up with them. Or if you try that one app, Christian Filipinos or whatever, they actually have a representative that actually physically cupids you with somebody else. And that's something that is different. Partridge says, last time I was on a dating app, they told me they would make a meal. That's what he said, but they just ordered out and pretended they made it. It was terrible and a huge breach of trust. Holy shit. So they said they were going to cook for you. They ordered some takeout, like Olive Garden or some shit, and then put it on a plate and made it seem like they cooked. That is dirty, bro. Like, you can't make SpaghettiOs. You can't make, like, everybody should know how to make pasta. You get you some Prego, you get you some pre-made meatballs, you get you some pasta noodles, you boil the noodles, you heat up the Prego, you put you a little bit of Parmesan cheese on that shit, and throw the meatballs in the pot, and you're done. Like, that's not even hard. If you really wanted to get pro status with your spaghetti and meatballs, you can make your own fucking meatballs. But damn, you telling me she ordered food and called it home cooked meal? That's not just a betrayal of trust. You already know that this female is not going to cook for you in your relationship, which means she's not going to cook for you as the wife. There's certain behavior traits that happens on the first date that's going to be the way of life, and you just got to look at those red flags and be like, nah, not doing it. Not doing it. For example, a smoker's always going to be a smoker. A drinker, always going to be a drinker. You are talking to somebody who is a partier, they're always going to be a partier. Until they get too old to party. You know when they're too old to party? When the club won't let them in. That's when they're too old. When they're willing to pay to cover, but the club's like, we don't want your money. That's when you're too old. But until then, they're going to be twerking on top of the bar. And you just got to understand that if that's what you got when your first date, that's what you're going to end up with for the rest of your relationship. Now, An astonishing 79% of Gen Z users say they're experienced dating app burnout. They're sick of the endless swiping, the dead-end conversations, and the lack of real connections. So it feels like a part-time job with terrible pay, especially since you got to buy into the app. But the dread of the repetitive small talk and the gut punch of being ghosted by someone you thought you had a spark with is starting to become unbearable. In fact, one survey found that 41% of users admitted to having ghosted someone. I'm going to tell you something. There's quite a few individuals that I don't even respond to. I can't say that I've ghosted them, but I'm going to say that I ghosted them, because if they message me and I'm not a membership, I'm not responding. Not because I don't want to, but because I'm not going to pay to give you a response. So if I sent you a response and then you sent me a response and then it tells me upgrade to send more messages, I'm like, nope, that's it. The app just killed this conversation. And a lot of times, for those of us who are using the dating apps for free and we wonder why the messages went cold, that's why. Because the person didn't want to pay the upgrade, not because they didn't like you. This isn't just annoying, it's deeply demoralizing. So ghosting leaves you with no closure, wondering what you did wrong, and it reinforces the idea that people are disposable. This burnout directly affects how you act on the app. So when you're exhausted and cynical, you become less engaging. Your messages get shorter, your replies take longer, and your whole vibe turns negative. This, of course, makes you seem less attractive, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you get burnt out from being rejected, which makes you act in a way that leads to more rejection. It's a downward spiral. So here's the most brutal irony of all. Platforms that we're using that are designed to connect people are now being linked to deep feelings of loneliness. So for many, the more they use these apps, the more isolated they feel, creating the loneliness paradox. First, the app replaces real world interactions with a cheap digital substitution. Time spent swiping on your couch is time you're not out in the world meeting people organically. Second, the constant rejection can wreck your social confidence, making you more scared to approach people in real life, where the app promises a world of connection, but can actually shrink your real social world. Michael says, question: is the internet a good thing or bad thing? Social isolation. Answer: bad thing. So the internet can be good because it can connect you to more people at the push of a button. The downside is that more of us spend more time at our house, in our room, or on the couch, isolated, entertaining ourselves with what we're looking at on our cell phones. Now, the problem that we have is that we might be in the house with other people, but we're not interacting with them because we're on our phone. Some of us don't have anybody in our house, but our closest friends, we don't interact with them. We only interact with people on our phone. Modern dating has led to, when guys ask girls for their contact information, the girl hands them her social media handle, which forces him, who met her in person, to start communicating with her on social media instead of communicating with her in person. I think if you met in person, you should just start with exchanging real phone numbers and start from there. But not too many people do. Now, the other part about this is that we put on a persona. We have the highlight reel that I talk about on a plenty of shows here. And on those highlight reels, individuals will get on their app and make themselves look a certain way. They have photos of them with their cars, photos of them with yachts, photos with them at expensive houses, photos of them on the lakefront, photos of them on cruise ships, photos of them with trips around the world, photos of them on house parties and all this stuff. And it seems like they have the perfect lifestyle. It takes them years to take all of these photos to put it up onto this app to generate a lifestyle, but they're putting up there on this profile this lifestyle when more than 65% of Americans typically work 2 jobs. So when the fuck were you doing all of this enjoying of life when you're working 2 jobs 6-7 days a week? It makes no sense. But they put that up there. Now, after they establish this identity online, they maintain that identity online, but they do not establish a human identity, a real life identity off the app. They don't even have their real identity on the app, and they do not have that personification in real life. So now that they're trying to maintain their profile, they spend more time isolated. And think about this. Anybody who plays video games, the person who is the best person on the game has the least social life. The person with the strongest avatar, the person with the highest level, the person with all of the best gear got no social life. So they spend all of the money that they would have spent socializing on this game. They spend all the time that they could have spent socializing on this game. So they're like the best gamer ever because they're the worst socialite ever. That's what it is. So before you get mad at the dude that mashed you up on Call of Duty, you're like, I'm going to the club. I'm going to go hang out and meet some real people. You enjoy this video game. Because I live off the console. That's why I don't win all the time. Now, compulsive use is now being correlated with higher rates of depression and anxiety. So the cycle of hope and disappointment is exhausting. And one survey even found that about 1 in 3 online daters feel like they need counseling after their experience, where the pressure to present a perfect, curated version of yourself combined with the fear of judgment is a recipe for misery, where the very thing that promises to cure loneliness is, for many of us, a major cause of it. So the game is rigged. Can you still win? Of course you can. But not by playing their game. You guys have got to stop trying to appeal to everybody else. The goal is not to get the most matches. The goal is to get the right matches. So here on This and That, when we talk about this, that, and everything in between, we are going to tell you guys exactly what to do. To do that, you need to build a profile that works like a filter, one that actively repels people you're not compatible with and acts like a magnet for the ones you are. So the golden rule is going to be show, don't tell. This is the single most important rule for fixing your profile. Almost everyone on a dating app tells. They say, I'm adventurous. They say, I have a good sense of humor. They say, I'm loyal. I believe it's bullshit every time I read it. These are just empty words, claims without any proof. Now I see why I don't believe it. An attractive profile doesn't make claims. It gives evidence. It shows. Instead of saying you're adventurous, you have pictures of you halfway up a mountain, looking exhausted but thrilled. Instead of saying you have a good sense of humor, you write a bio that actually makes someone laugh. Instead of saying you're passionate about music, you have a photo of you playing a guitar or lost in a crowd at a concert. Be careful about that concert photo, because if you've got too many photos of you in crowded places holding alcohol up, you're going to look immature, irresponsible, like a drunk party animal. You're going to have to really think about what you're doing. Michael said, a climbed Mount Reiner. Here's a picture. I mean, well, you could say that you like hiking, right? And then you have a photo in your profile that says that shows that you're at the top of like Mount Everest or some shit. Instead of talking about, because here's one of the things that I've noticed about dating apps, because all the girls look for a generous guy that is paying for stuff. They really look for a sugar daddy. They love to travel. And I've always said that women that say that they're looking for a generous man and they love to travel, those are gold diggers. If she really is a woman that is looking to travel, she should have like 5 different photos in 5 different countries. Period. You don't have to put in your app that you love to travel if you have 5 different photos on your profile from 5 different places. You clearly express that, right? So it only makes more sense if you're showing better than you can tell. So you say that you're loyal, you say that you're dedicated. Have a picture of yourself looking after somebody who needs looking after. You have other ways to prove that you're kind-hearted. You could be taking care of an elderly person in public, because you don't want them to think that you have elderly people in your house. But if you're helping an old person walk across the street, like, oh, she's good with old people, have you at a nursery or something like that, or nursing home or something like that. Oh, something like that. That kind of puts you in a different spotlight where people are looking at the photo, because a photo tells 1,000 words, right? So 5 photos is 5,000 words. And if you theme those 5 photos, it should give a good idea of who you are. So let's say that you're always wearing expensive name brand clothes. It's gold digger, right? I mean, unless you take a photo of you at your Fortune 500 job. He said, all right, bro, I'm going to hop off today. See you next live locked in. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to be doing questions and comments from the fans. We're going to be going over a few things to show you guys up for Monday, just in case there's any stock options coming up. I did curate the list for August, so I'm going to be telling you guys about that coming soon, but not this Tuesday, probably the week after, so that you guys are ready for August. Also, make sure that you lock in, hit the subscription buttons for the other days, because Sunday hasn't been put up there yet, but Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is up there. And if you hit that notification button, it'll let you know when we go live so that you don't miss it. And Michael, correct. Show by example. So special shout out to Steven from Twitter X. He said, curious something live. Never been in one, so should be my first one. You got to give it a try one day. I got to tell you, if you click one of those buttons and join a live, you'll be in one of those lives. So, hold on now. We're missing some stuff. We're supposed to be talking about what else to do about this, and we're missing some stuff. Hold on. Because I'm like, wait, we had a whole laundry list of stuff up here, and it ain't up here. See, just as soon as I start tiptoeing over to go talk to him about joining in some of the other lives. This is one of the best parts about being live, guys, because like there's no way that there's going to be an edit going on here. This is just going to be like real true to life, like how we're going to get it done kind of thing. So we were talking about ways to get this up here. And we said, start by creating a profile. All right, now let me see, where is number 2? Because the list just ran short. I'm sitting over here looking like the list just ran short. We had like 5 different ways to work this scenario out. I don't know where it went. Don't worry, we're gonna get it though. We're good at backlogging data, because when I do so much research on this podcast, and I was covering 3 different shows, so I had 3 different scripts put up here. So I'm sitting over here looking like, what happened to the other 4 scripts? So let me grab Let me go to Script Center and just grab these out. And there it is. There it is. That's the rest of it. Oh my God, there's a lot. So we just talked about the photo. I got to get in here because this part is deep. So the first thing you're going to do, the most important part you're going to be doing is show and not tell. That's the part that we talked about. Then you're going to be looking at, hold on, I think I skipped some stuff. Yeah, the attractiveness. So every part of your profile should be a piece of evidence that tells a story of who you are. So telling is lazy. Showing is confident. That's where we're going to start off at now. So now grab your pen and paper because we're about to start getting into the meat and potatoes of the situation. So this is going to let others draw their own conclusions, which is way more powerful from now on, looking at every part of the profile and then asking, what does this show about me? That's what we're going to be looking at. And this, having other people come to their own conclusions, allows people to formulate a judgment. And if they formulate the kind of judgment that makes them want to talk to you, then you've already got them locked in. It's a hot lead. So let's get into this real quick. Now, deconstructing your photos, that's what we're going to be talking about right now. Your photos are the most important part of your profile, but not just to show what you look like. Their job is to tell a story about your lifestyle and your passions and your personality. So the first basic thing that we're going to do is no bathroom selfies. So ladies, if you got a photo of yourself in your underwear, staring at your mirror with your iPhone, take that down. You're doing a selfie in your full-length vanity mirror in your bedroom while your bed's not made and clothes all over the place. Take that down. That is not good. No blurry photos. I'm going to be a big victim of this one. No sunglasses in every single shot. I got prescription glasses. They're going to be in every single shot. And please, for the love of all that is good, no pictures of you holding a fish unless you're a professional fisherman. I'm also going to throw in there no photos of you holding alcohol or cigarettes unless you are an avid smoker or a frequent drinker. That's it. If that's not what you do on a daily basis, don't take a picture if you're doing it. I've noticed that people with tattoos take photos that make sure that their photo has a tattoo in it. There's no problem with that, because if you do have a body full of tattoos, it is good for your partner to know about that ahead of time if that for some reason is a deal breaker. But beyond showing things that you can't change, if you are a person that has a lot of piercings but you want to show all of your piercings at the same time, probably not gonna make a good look for yourself for individuals that are looking for a normal person and they seem that a person full of piercings might not be considered normal to them. So you got to think about that. Michael said, I can see myself in your glasses. You should be able to see yourself in my glasses. You should be able to see yourself. You should be able to see my script. You should be able to see me in my glasses because they're reflective. That's how that works. You should be able to see my Samsung right here because I'm not an iPhone fan because they hacked the FaceTime. But it is very good because when women look into my glasses, they can see into their own soul, and it really helps them think about how dark things have gotten for them, just to be honest. Now, there are some cliches with those types of photos that make you blend in with everyone else. So we're not going to do any of those. Now, let's build your story with the photos. The first thing we're going to do is the headshot, reimagined. This is your first photo. It needs to be a clear, high quality shot of you. So from the chest up, not necessarily showing off cleavage, ladies, just like having your shoulders in there, a little bit of neck in there, face, good lighting, no shadows, something like that. Almost like a mugshot, just you're happy about it, right? Now, this is going to be you making eye contact with the camera, some sort of a real smile, not a bullshit smile. And in context, this is going to be key because this isn't a corporate headshot. It's you in your element. So maybe at your favorite coffee shop or on a city street with a cool background. It should be warm, inviting, and clearly showing your face. Not in your bedroom, not in your living room, not up some wall somewhere. It's supposed to be like you doing the things that you normally do. So like if you're one of those people that go to the gym and you're going to get a photo of you at the gym, on the gym equipment, something like that, that's fine. But facial, right? Now, number 2 is the passion shot. This is where you show what do you love to do. So a picture of you doing that thing, which you might need a friend to help you take these photos because you're not really doing too many selfies. If you're a painter, a shot of you in your studio, splattered with paint probably. If you're a runner, a photo of you crossing the finish line. If you love to cook, a picture of you laughing in the kitchen, making a mess. This isn't about looking perfect. It's about looking alive. And it gives people an intent and instant conversation starter that is just more than something like a, hey, they can at least look at that photo and instantly have the intent of saying, I see that you like to cook, or I see that you like to run, or what's the longest race that you've ran? Because they can look at your photos and ask an intuitive question based off of what you've shown them. Instead, we typically have guys with just like 5 photos of the guy of just being the guy. 5 photos of the girl, 3 of them she's half naked, 2 of them she's in water, 1 of them she's standing somewhere still in her underwear. You might have 1 full-size photo of her standing up somewhere not naked and 1 photo of her face. But some of them, if they're very confident about their cleavage, still has their cleavage shoved into the photo somewhere. So it's almost like a centerfold. Like for those of you that don't know about like Hustler and Playboy and stuff like that, like back in the day before the internet, those centerfolds, that is not what a girlfriend is supposed to look like. But those centerfolds is what these photos are looking like on social media. And ladies, y'all got to really change that if you're trying to attract the right guy. Now, if you're trying to get laid, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. But if you're trying to find that special someone, those are not the photos that you need. Now, the social shot, this is going to be another one you're going to need. This shows you have a life and people in it. So a picture of you with friends. He said, how many roses? Well, that depends. Guns N' Roses. He said, well, the roses are expensive. So, I mean, you should only have like 1 rose if you're going to do rose petals all over the place. But I mean, if you're going to do like 2 or 3 roses, I would stay away from roses, really. I would do like lilies or daffodils or something cheap. You could probably get like 10 daffodils or 10 lilies for the price of 1 rose. The difference is the difference between red roses and yellow lilies or some shit. You know, still flower petals, just not nearly as expensive. Think about that. Then you can grow the shit in your backyard and take the photo of it. Even cheaper, right? Because you only need like 2 or 3 of them. So you're doing your social image, but there's going to be some rules here. You need to be easy to spot so that they know which one is you. No giant group shots where they have to play Where's Waldo, and ideally it's you with 2 or 3 friends where there's the focus being on you and everyone's having a good time while they're with you. And this is proof, and it shows that other people like being around you. That's what you want. You want that evidence that you are fun to be around, right? Michael says, I always wonder why they didn't have scratch and sniff centerfolds. Man, did you really want to sniff that, Mike? Like, really, back in them days when they had like they had them centerfolds, Mike, if it didn't smell like apples and bananas, it would smell like fish. You don't want it to smell like fish. Michael said, remember to like and subscribe, y'all. Make sure that y'all follow the membership. Follow us on Twitter as well as Twitch if you got Twitter and Twitch, because we're all over the place. But definitely make sure that you guys like and utilize those reaction buttons, because we got a lot of reaction buttons off to the right side of the script here. You should be able to see those buttons, hearts and smiley faces, and the little party thing. You know, you guys can mash those and show some love, which really triggers the algorithm, get more people in here to come and see what we got going on. Because everybody could learn from this. If you guys update and improve your platforms, you'll see more effective ways to get yourself seen on social media, where you might be able to at least find somebody to hang out with if you don't find the right one off of the first connection. And Michael wants to give you guys a happy Sunday. So everybody on Twitch and Twitter, as well as YouTube, Michael wants you guys to have a happy Sunday. He says, love the Pilgrims. Hey, I kind of like it too. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing is that full body shot. One body shot. This one's about confidence. It's a full-length photo showing your style. But again, context matters. This isn't an ass shot. This isn't you looking back at it. No poses. No awkward mirror selfies. It should be a natural shot of you walking down the street at an event or on a vacation, either on your way to the camera or away from the camera. Oh, you love the programs. Because I was sitting over here thinking about Pilgrims. I'm like, I remember those guys with the funny hats and the big belt buckles. I like them. The ones that's on the Thanksgiving turkey thing. When even though we ain't thankful and ain't nobody giving shit, they come over to take the food off your table. I'd be like, what is so thankful about this? Because I'm the one giving, and these motherfuckers didn't say thank you. I'd be want to slap the shit out of them. But that's neither here nor there. We coming up on Thanksgiving. Love the program. Michael loves the program, and I love having Michael on the program. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with us, because we got a few more of these, and we're going to get you guys through, because this list was bigger than I thought. I don't know why half the list came up, but the other half is right here. So full body shots, guys. Remember, it's supposed to be a picture of you just walking through, not just posing, not bent over somewhere, not looking back at it, none of that. You walking through. Now, the next thing you're going to be doing is photo number 5 is the quirky or humorous shot. Now, this is going to be your chance to show your personality. It could be you in a silly Halloween costume, not a sexy nurse, not a Harley Quinn outfit, like you as like Goofy, or like putting your Winnie the Pooh costume on backwards, like that guy that got fired or something like that. A Goofy picture with your pet, that would always work. Like if you got a dog that wants to be Rey Mysterio and hit you with the 619, that's perfectly good, fine. If you've got that dog that thinks he's Randy Orton and he hits you with the RKO, that's also fine. You know, something like that. You want to have a shot that captures the funny side of you, unexpected moments. This photo shows that you don't take yourself too seriously. It might be a little weird, and that's good. It helps filter people who get you, who get your sense of humor, those individuals that really catch on to what you've got to offer. Now, your photos in order should take someone a quick journey through who you are. Then they meet you. They see what you love. They see what you have friends involved in, and then they get a sense of your style, and then they see that you can be fun. This is a whole story in 5 pictures across 5,000 words you don't have to write. Now we're going to be rewriting your bio. Most bios are just awful. They're either blank, a string of emojis, or a boring resume. Lover of travel, food, The Office, 6'1", because apparently that matters. And this tells me nothing unique. It's a list of the most generic interests on earth. Now, your bio has one job: to start a conversation. It should be short, interesting, and give someone an easy way to message you. So let's use a simple structure: the hook, the story, and the bait. Start with the hook. Start with something that grabs attention. A funny or slightly controversial opinion works well. Nothing to get you banned, but just enough to get people to come and start talking to you about it, right? Now, for example, unpopular opinions. Pineapples on pizza is a work of art, and I will die on this hill. That's good. Or, I'm 90% sure my dog is a reincarnated grumpy old man. It's playful and gives someone an easy way to respond, right? Then you come through with the story. A single sentence that shows your personality. Instead of "I like to travel," try "currently on a mission to find the best tacos in the city. So far, the winner is a little truck on 5th Street." It's specific, personal, and gives a peek into your world. If you are somebody who likes to travel, you could say, visiting some of the most interesting restaurants around the world. You could say that your top 3 is name them, whatever restaurant in Italy, whatever restaurant in Rome, whatever restaurant in Russia. If these are the 3 restaurants you've actually been in, and irony, those 3 photos are in your 5, then they know you like to travel. You don't have to say you like to travel. You never want to say that you're looking for a generous person, because that's gold digger text messages, because good men are going to be generous by default. You don't want a guarantee to be one of your expectations. You want unexpected to be one of your expectations. And unexpected means something like you're looking for an active man as opposed to a non-active man. You're looking for somebody who doesn't play video games as opposed to somebody who plays video games. Things that are not like genuinely going to be an expectation kind of thing, which kind of weeds out the difference between what you want versus what you don't want. Just outright looking for the characteristics of what a good man is supposed to be, you should already know that when you're talking to the guy. You should not have to put that up there. So the next thing you're going to do is the bait. You want to end with a question or a call to action. So you're telling people exactly how to start the conversation. For example, tell me your most controversial food option. Give me a good opinion of the best place to eat. What is the best concert you've ever been to? You're taking away the anxiety of the first message. Because if they read your bio, their first comment to you should answer your question. And you're going to have to remember what the hell you asked them, because the first comment from a stranger is going to be, I like pizza with Doritos on it. And you're going to be like, what? And they're answering my question, the most controversial food opinion. Okay. And then you got to respond to that. So you got to remember your question. Otherwise, be like, weirdo, pizza with Doritos on it. Or like the person that was on the show yesterday talking about some Hot Pocket pizza flavored Hot Pockets on a pizza with 6 cheese blend on top of it. I don't know. That's like munchy food. So a full bio might look like this. A hot take. Winter is the best season, no debate. I spend most of my time trying to keep my house plants alive and perfecting my spaghetti carbonara. Tell me the last great book you read. Now, this bio shows personality. It's specific, and it gives a clear introduction and specific instructions. It's an invitation, not a list of qualifications. And avoid negativity. Don't list what you're not looking for. No drama. Just make you sound jaded. Just saying, well, I'm looking for serious inquiries only. You could say that. I've done it plenty of times. But people about that bullshit still gonna hit you up. Those women that are like, oh, I'm not looking for hookups, but you're on a hookup site. You got to take that out of there. You're wasting data space. Your profile should be an optimistic and positive reflection of you. Now, the unseen profile elements. Don't ignore the other tools the app gives you. The prompt, the 2 truths and a lie, I'm looking for. Those are amazing chances to show off your personality. Don't waste them with one-word answers. Use prompts to tell a mini story for truth and lie. For 2 truths and a lie. You want to use prompts for that. Make them interesting. I've been to a wedding in a castle. I once won a hot dog eating contest. I can speak fluent Elfish, right? For I'm looking for, instead of a serious relationship, try something with personality, like someone who can challenge me at Mario Kart and won't judge my off-key singing in the car. Fantastic. Is somebody who can beat me at Mario Kart and out-sing me in a road trip. Here we go, like to travel. That type of scenario is less offensive, and it gives more contrast to the kind of personality that you have. Now, we're going to be connecting Spotify or Instagram, which can be powerful, but be smart about it. If your Instagram is just gym selfies, it's not adding much. If it shows your photography hobby or travel, it's a great addition. Your Spotify can be a fantastic way to connect over music, which is a surprisingly strong sign of compatibility. The key isn't to be intentional. Every single part of your profile should be there for a reason. Now, you're going to navigate the minefield of spotting scams. Since you've already built your profile, you know what they're going to find when they find you, and you'll be able to weed out the ones that aren't interested in talking to you. Now we're going to find the platforms that we should not interact with. The sad reality is, of online dating platforms, this is not everyone who is in the platform, but they claim that there's a large quantity of people there that aren't who they say they are. In 2023, romance scams cost people in the United States over $1.14 billion. $1.14 billion. These platforms are hunting grounds for scammers who prey on the emotionally vulnerable. The apps often create a large quantity of people that can become victims to these scammers. Learning to spot them isn't just about protecting your money, it's about protecting your sanity. And this is something that a lot of us have to pay attention to. So, scammers usually follow a predictable script. Kane, can you stop choking over there? This motherfucker is he choking on his own fluffy fluff. Can you chill out? Like everybody listening to you choke. Shh. We're on live podcast. I don't want to hear it. We don't have noise canceling today. This is coming from the phone. Chill out. Now he gonna come over here and come jump onto the show. You gonna come jump on the show? No? Then be still. All right, so back to the show. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. One day the dog gonna climb up here. Oh, here he come. Here he come, big head. You just stretch first. Stretch first. You know you're not gonna fit on this phone. The big face in the phone. All right, you gotta behave. Now, we're gonna get back to talking about these scams. Now, where do we go? There we are. I love the way my camera keeps rolling, even though I didn't push the wrong button. It didn't drop the whole script. Okay, now the profile that is too good to be true, that's going to be the first one we're going to be talking about. Scammers often use stolen photos of models or very attractive people. The photos might look too professional or have weirdly inconsistent lighting. I've seen some photos where they will put a collage of women that seemingly look the same, but they're not the same. And there's features that they just would not be able to change naturally. Skin complexion would be the same. The structure of their eyes might be different. You might see different hairlines. You might see different ear design. You might see one with tattoos, one without tattoos. One with piercings, one without piercings. One with a gold tooth, one with no teeth, one with perfect teeth. And it'd be in the line of the 5 photos like, bro, this is not the same chick. Seriously. In addition to that, if a profile seems impossibly perfect, it probably is. Recent reports highlight that scammers are now using generative AI to create realistic but completely fake profiles. So that hot model that's trying to talk to you on a platform, probably some overweight guy in the basement of his mother's house in Boston. Not necessarily the overly attractive chick in California that you're talking to on a profile. Which is why I strongly encourage that you get into a virtual call with them as quickly as possible to verify who the fuck you're talking to. The next thing you're going to see is that they want to move off the app immediately. This is a red flag, but I still prefer to do it. Because even though this is a huge red flag, a scammer will quickly try to get you on WhatsApp, Google Chat, WeChat. I'm talking about Skype because I'm from the old school. But they do this to get your personal info, and because dating apps have a system that bans them. A private chat is the wild west. The system is not going to ban them for asking for your financial information because they're not on the dating app. There is going to be a thing where they love bomb you. This is going to be another consistency that you're going to notice. Scammers are masters of manipulation. They'll shower you with affection and compliments almost immediately, maybe even saying they love you within days. I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of them that'll start calling you sweetheart, darling, baby, and this, that, and the third within the first hour of texting back and forth. I think you should get used to saying my real name before you start throwing nicknames at me, because we haven't met in person yet. Let's be real. We could probably come up with some little stinker kind of names over virtual, but over text, nah, that's not okay. Now, this tactic of love bombing is meant to speed up intimacy and make your lower self-esteem, that is going to then lower your guard even further, where real connections would have taken a whole lot more time. Their story is dramatic and inconsistent, and usually it's going to be some kind of a sob story. Scammers often claim to be a military doctor overseas, an engineer on an oil rig, or a wealthy business person abroad. Ladies, I'm going to be real with you. Men are going to spot scams out the gate, or predetermine that it's a scam, when the first thing that you do is parade the fact that you're financially successful, because no man cares about that. Women might get baited in for a financially successful man. It's like, oh yeah, I own 3 businesses and I'm out in Germany right now. I'll be back next week. Yeah, she might think, oh wow, I got me a rich guy. But let a female put into her profile that she's got 1 business, much less 5, under her belt. And she could be telling the truth, but this is what she identifies herself as: the successful business owner with multiple degrees, trip out of the country right now, reaching out to me in the country as if she's coming back to the country. Man, that's a scam and a half. That's going to be perceived as a scam and a half. If that's really what you're about, you shouldn't be talking about your money in the introduction or the first conversation. That's like a conversation you have after you've met the person in person, right? So in addition to those dramatic scenarios, these jobs are a convenient excuse for why they can't meet up with you in person, or why they're not able to video call. My job won't let me do it. My boss won't allow it. I don't have good internet connection. Pay attention to the details that change when they're lying. I had one come and tell me that she was a owner of a yoga studio, and she also had a cryptocurrency trade thing, and she also owned this coffee shop crap. And you know, she was trying to get me to join her TikTok scenario, her TikTok store. I got my own TikTok store. I didn't tell her about it. I got my own podcast. I didn't tell her about it. I got some like and subscribe and join a membership on my side of the fence. So when she's trying to get me to buy into her scenario, I was like, nope, I don't invest in people that I have not been involved with for 5 years minimum, which is a true story. One of my best friends that I went into business with, we opened up a real estate business, very successful with it. Me and him met in college. 5 years later, we started up the business. So I wasn't lying. But the fact is that if I'm dating her virtually, I'm not sending her money, wiring her money, or investing in any of her businesses when we haven't talked for 5 years. And I typically handle 5 years in person. So you would have to get to know me. Then you would have to get to know me in person. I would have to be around you for 5 years before you get $1. Chick tried me again from a different profile, same photo. Now, I'm smart. Some people don't pay attention to these things. When I looked at the photo, I went back to the other profile where the photo was. And then when she started talking to me, I'm slick with it. I started asking her about some of the stuff she told me about the last time she linked with me. So I knew that this was bullshit, but I just really wanted to see how she was going to play this role. Man, soon as she started talking about investing in her whatever she had going on, I sent her a screenshot of the conversation that we had the last time when I told her last profile I wasn't interested in anybody in less than 5 years of communicating with them in person. And she's like, oh, yeah, you're heartless because you won't help me, because she gives me a sob story about how she can't pay her bills. You paid your phone bill. That's why you're talking to me. So, I mean, you can figure out a way to pay your bills. Contact me for that. That's not what we're about. Not day one conversation, not the first 7 days conversation. Even in America, no female should tell a man that she's hard up and she can't pay her bills while she's trying to go on a date with him, thinking that she's going to get him to become her financial support system. That doesn't work that way. If she's got problems financially, she's going to cancel the date. She's not going to go out there. She's going to work extra jobs. She's going to catch up on her bills. Then if he's still around, she might try to date him now that she's gotten her finances together. Women don't need men to pay for shit. So when you have a profile that's saying, oh, hey, I need you to take care of me, and I don't even know who you are, y'all got to pay attention to this stuff. They are lying. Now, another thing that's going to be different from a real person that wants to get off of the dating platform and really get to know who you are versus a person that wants to get you off the dating platform and scam you out of your shit. People who are trying to scam you, they avoid video calls. This is a non-negotiable deal breaker. A real person will be willing to video chat. If they don't have time to meet you in person, a real person will have no problem with video chatting. A scammer will have endless excuses. Their camera is broken. The internet is bad. They're not allowed. This is because a video call would instantly prove they aren't the person in the photos. But if they're willing to video call, you're likely to have the individual that is in the photo video calling you, usually in their normal environment where they're not as attractive as they were in the photo, but they are genuinely the same person that's in the photo. So you got to remember that. Another thing that you guys will understand, like I just finished talking about, the inevitable request for money. This is always a scam. This is the end game for every romance scammer. After they think they've built trust with you over a couple days, over a few dozen conversations, an emergency will suddenly happen. Sick family member, legal troubles, they need to play a plane ticket or something like that to come and see you. The request might start small, but it will grow. No matter how good the story is, never send them any money or gift cards. Don't send them nothing to someone that you have only met online. People tell me, oh, hey, I need a plane ticket, blah, blah, blah. Sure, I'll fly out there to you and I'll get you the plane ticket while I'm out there. But I'm not about to send you money for a plane ticket, and I'm not about to buy a plane ticket in your name that you can cancel and keep this cash off of it. I'm not doing none of that. At the end of the day, I'll come out there, I'll get the plane ticket for you, and then we'll fly back together. Right? Now, ooh, there's another one here. So you got to remember to say no to that. Now, another one is a quick reverse image search. This one's actually pretty cool. I didn't even think about this before. If you're ever suspicious, use this simple tool, a reverse image search. You screenshot their profile picture and upload it to a site like Google Images. If the photo shows up on a stock photo website, on someone else's social media with a different name, or in an article about scams, you've got your answer. It's a quick, easy way to see if you're talking to a real person. But if you take that photo and you stick it in there and nothing comes back, that's a real person, no matter how awkward that conversation is going. Just remember that. So the world of online dating is a wild and often frustrating place where you've been probably experiencing your own confusion. This could be funny or just plain painful and awful. But sharing those stories is one of the best ways to feel less alone in this complete roller coaster ride that we have to have with dating. So in the comments below, make sure that you guys share your own dating app stories. And the good and bad stories, including the weird ones, are ones that we would definitely be able to utilize to improve our abilities to understand the ups and downs of our social interactions. Polish is going to ask us this interesting question. Usually when we get trolled, they ask us one of these weird questions like, are you a lawyer? Do you need a lawyer? That's a very interesting question, because lawyers are not usually talking about dating things. If I was having a legal topic of discussion today, that might have been an interesting question to ask. But just asking me, are you a lawyer? It's like, what made you think about the lawyer thing? Was it the suit? Was it the bookshelf full of books back there? Like, what made you think I was a lawyer? Anyway, after you guys put your comments in the comments down below, we'll be able to learn what we need to learn about each other. So what's worked for you is what I want to know. Let's turn this into a source of information for everyone to figure this thing out. What things have you observed that didn't work out, or some red flags that you were able to point out when you were communicating with individuals on social media? And if you guys want to keep taking a part of some of this hidden system that I keep telling you guys about that shapes our world, make sure that you guys subscribe to other areas on both YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and make sure that you hit that notification bell on Netflix. So let's bring this all back to the start. The reason your dating profile might make you seem unattractive is that you are playing a game that you're not meant to win. The apps are built to gamify connections, turn attention into a product, and profile and profit from your frustrations. The endless swiping, the tricky algorithm, and the culture of superficial behavior creates a piece of, well, real human connection being sacrificed for the struggles. And you're not going to be able to find a way to breathe in this particular type of place when you're looking for a long connection. But understand, the system is the first step to getting your match, but you have to understand it in order to beat it. You don't have to play along with the mindless swipe. You don't have to write a generic profile trying to please everyone else. And your power is in your authenticity, which 65 or 70% of Gen Zs are looking for right now. This is going to begin with you building a profile that is generically or genuinely more to the magnitude of being true. Unfiltered reflections of who you are, not selfies in a mirror. This is going to give you actual passions where your quirks, your humors, your styles are going to be projected in a raw core atmosphere. Like, weirdly enough, even when my podcast doesn't go the way it's supposed to go because the cameras aren't connecting to the StreamYard, the fact that I'm able to throw you into my app from the cell phone, you're able to see exactly what I got going on in real time. A scam artist would not be able to roll this out. I had a few people like, oh yeah, it's a green screen. Well, bro, I logged in from a completely different device after the app. There's no way that's a green screen. That's how that works. This approach won't get you the most matches. This approach is not going to have you in abundance of people liking your profile. But what it will do something far more important. It will attract the right people and scare off the wrong ones. This is about taking back control in a digital world that wants to turn you into a data point. It's about choosing quality over quantity. Depth overlooks the benefits of frequency. You got to remember that. And your own self-worth is going to be valued over what strangers on the app think. True connection isn't found in an algorithm. It's built through honesty, vulnerability, and the courage to show up as you really are. So stop trying to win their game and start changing the way you play. Build a profile that represents you, not the version of you that you think the app wants. The right person isn't looking for a perfect profile. They're looking for a real one. That's something that not too many people think about. With that being said, I want to say thank you guys for coming to tonight's show. We have tomorrow night's show. We're going to be doing questions and comments from the fans, and I'm going to really see if I can get this to work itself out with the browser continuing to crash on the cameras. But if not, we'll do it again from the cell phone. But next time, I'm going to have the cell phone stand. That way I'll be able to work through this a whole lot easier. One way or another, we're going live tomorrow. So remember, because tomorrow we're doing questions and comments from the fans. Ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking you ladies to make it make sense. So ladies, please make it make sense. Fellas, 75% of the podcast is a male-driven podcast from the male's perspective. So I really appreciate you guys for coming to the show. Remember that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're going to be talking about ways that we're going to improve our money. I'm going to be giving you guys some stock tips from Donald Trump's portfolio. So we're going to be talking about that as well. The way the government has shifted, what policies will benefit some stock trades. We're going to be talking about that. A lot of these are growth stocks, not cash stocks. So we will be talking about our cash stocks in a following week. Remember that we have different countries like Sweden this coming Wednesday. So we've got a good lineup, and we even got Thursday up there already. So when you get off the show tonight, you want to go back to the platform and you want to hit those buttons hit the notification button for like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this upcoming week, so that the moment we air, you know about it and you'll be here getting all of the details. Another thing I want to tell you guys before you go, both on Twitch, Twitter, as well as in YouTube, when we start talking about the stock tips, we will be putting the stock names and ticker values and stuff like that in the comment section. However, YouTube is the only platform that is going to have real-time replay. So if you go back to watch the show to see what stock tips we put into the comment section, YouTube is going to be the only one that's going to replay it and show you in real time which ones that didn't get put up onto the screen. Because if it got put up onto the screen, you can see it on replay on Twitch and on Twitter, because Twitch, we ran out of memory space. So I would have to delete the last 50 to 100 videos to make room to highlight some of the newer episodes, which I think I'm going to probably do this week. Either way, everything that you're looking for is on a primary YouTube channel. All of the information and backstories that we've given you, other concepts that piggyback off of past concepts that we're using right now. You can follow those concepts from other shows, so make sure that you look at that as well. I want to thank you guys for coming to This and That, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And I will see you guys tomorrow night.
Chase validation, now I validate My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. I'm not mounted on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never yield.